Now we are going to learn about the High Courts. The Constitution of India also provides for the establishment of High Court in each state. At state level, it is the highest organ of judicial administration. Now, High Courts plays important role or top management at the level of state, at the state level, and at national level, that is the Supreme Court. Right? There are 21 High Courts. Students, now onwards, there are 24 High Courts in India for 28 states and 7 union territories. Now, the High Courts exercise its powers within the territorial jurisdiction of the concerned state. However, the Parliament has been given the power of putting even more than one state under one High Court. Means what, students? So that is not possible, or that is not compulsion that each state has the High Court, right? So they can put even, Parliament can put even more than one state under one High Court. For example, Punjab and Haryana have common High Court at Chandigarh. Okay. Now, appointment of the judges of the High Court. We learned earlier about the appointment of judges of the Supreme Court. Now we are going to learn about the appointment of judges of the High Court. Now, what is the condition? Like the Supreme Court, High Courts of states also have one Chief Justice and other judges. The number of the judges of the High Courts may vary from state to state. In Supreme Court, what we learn? That there are one Chief Justice and 25 other judges in the Supreme Court. But in the High Court, one Chief Justice is there and other judges may vary from state to state. Why it is vary from state to state? Because we learned earlier here that they can put even one or more than one state in under the one High Court, right? So according to that particular situation, the judges vary from state to state. The Chief Justice of the High Court of a state is appointed by the President of India after consulting the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Now here, how the Chief Justice of High Court is appointed? It is also appointed by the President, but with the consultation of Supreme Court's Chief Justice. Now, the governor of that particular state, for the election of other judges, the President may also consult the Chief Justice of the concerned state. Now here, again I am going to explain you, if the High Courts of Chief Justice are appointed, they are appointed by the President with the consultation of Chief Justice of Supreme Court and the governor of that state. Governor is the head person of the particular state, right? And for the election of other judges, while they are appointing other judges, then President may consult the other Chief Justice, means Chief Justice of the particular concerned state. For example, here the Punjab and Haryana, right? So if they are appointing the judges of the High Court at Chandigarh, then they can take the advice of the Chandigarh's High Court Chief Justice. Now the qualification for the High Court judges. What are the qualifications for the same? In order to become the judge of High Court, a candidate should be a citizen of India, must be, second, must have at least 10 years of experience as an advocate in the state. Now, here second condition is that he or she has the experience of 10 years as what? As the advocate in this state, and must be well-known writer in the field of law or a distinguished jurist. Means he is supposed to be well-known writer for what? For the law. So these are the qualification of High Court judges. Now tenure means the period, duration. The judges of the High Courts remain in the office till the age of 62 years. In the Supreme Court, it is 65 years. And in the High Court, the duration is of at the age of till that age of 62 years. They may resign from their office in writing. They can also be terminated from their office through the process of impeachment, same as Supreme Court judges. Now salaries and allowances. The Chief Justice and the judges of the High Courts are paid high salary and other allowances fixed by the Parliament from time to time. They are also entitled to free accommodation facilities. The President can transfer the judges of High Court from one High Court to another in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. Now, Chief Justice should be remain there only, but other judges, they might transfer from one High Court to another with the consultation of whom? With the consultation of Chief Justice. President may transfer judges from one High Court to another High Court. Now, functions and powers of the High Court. The High Court deals with those cases which fallen within the jurisdiction of a state because it matters with the state jurisdiction. Some of the most important functions performed by High Court are as follows. First is original jurisdiction, that we learned earlier that if some cases directly gone to that court, then that is known as original jurisdiction. Now see, you can see here, Indian Constitution under Article 226 empowers the High Court to issue a writ to any person or authority within its jurisdiction for the enforcement of fundamental rights or against their violation. It also hears directly the disputes related to states' election. Now what we learn in the Supreme Court's powers functions in the writ jurisdiction, that is performed in this original jurisdiction. What is that? If someone's fundamental rights are violated or deprived, then they might be solved in the High Court, and that is known as original jurisdiction under the Article 226. Now appellate jurisdiction. Appellate means what? Request. The High Court hears appeals on both civil and criminal cases against the decision of subordinate courts. Subordinate courts means what? District courts, right? And review their judgment. If some cases are not solved in the district court, then that matters are going in the High Court and that's solved in the High Court. Now, review their judgment and High Court review their judgment. The High Court has the power to give fresh verdict in such cases. Now what is here? If some cases are not solved or people are not satisfied by the judgment of district court, then that cases are going to the High Court. Now advisory jurisdiction. Advisory means what? To give the advices. According to Article 227 of the Indian Constitution, the High Court can extend its power of superintendence to all courts in its jurisdiction. Means what? Check or supervise the lower court in its jurisdiction. Means what, students? So High Court has that authority that he can check the work of lower courts. Lower courts means what? District courts. Except those dealing with armed forces operating within its territorial jurisdiction. Now under Article 228, in 227 what? In Article 227, High Court has that authority that he can check on the work of this district court. Now under the article of 228, the High Court can also supervise the functioning of the subordinate courts. Means what? Now in this particular article 228, High Court can check and even they can check the work of the district court. Means how they are functioning, how they are giving justice, etc. It enjoys the power of judiciary review like the Supreme Court of India. And here what he plays a role? He play a role of top jurisdiction, right? As at a national level, Supreme Court enjoy his power, like that High Court enjoy his power at the state level and take reviews of district level courts. Now you can see in the next slide the list of high courts in India and some pictures of high courts of different states. Now we are going to learn about the subordinate court. Now subordinate courts means what, students? To district courts, revenue courts and Nyay Panchayat. The courts at district level and below are termed as subordinate courts. The High Court is the highest court at state level, followed by the district courts at the district level. There are several levels of court at the district level. The district courts in a district also act as a session court. Now inside, the highest court dealing with the civil cases at district level is the Court of District Judge, while Court of Session Judge at district level deals with the criminal cases. Civil cases means what? Civil cases are related to particular, you can say that if someone is not following proper fundamental rules or constitutional rules, that is the civil cases. And what are the criminal cases? Criminal cases means someone doing any criminal activities. That cases are going in the session court, and civil cases are going in the highest court, that is the district level. Now we are going to learn about the revenue code. Cases regarding payment for that collection of land revenue, property tax or any kind of money are dealt with the revenue code. Revenue means what, students? Revenue means income, right? Means it is related to money matters. If any money matter cases are there, then that should be solved at the revenue code. Now, structure of revenue code. The Board of Revenue is the apex revenue authority court at the state level. The Court of District Collector is at the district level, and below them are the courts of Tehsildar or Nayab Tehsildar. That is means what? Tehsildar and Nayab Tehsildar are at the village level, right? These are at the district level. And Board of Revenue that are organized at the state level. Collectors District Court are related to district level, and courts of Tehsildar and Nayab Tehsildar is related to village level. Three levels are there: state level, district level and village level. Now we are going to learn about the Nyay Panchayat. Nyay Panchayat provides justice at village level. We know that. It can give its judgment on petty criminals and civil cases. Decision taken by the Nyay Panchayat can be challenged in the higher courts. Means what, students? If some decisions are made by the Panchayat at the village level, and if a people or he or she, if not satisfied with the judgment of Nyay Panchayat, then that case is going in the higher courts. Now we are going to learn about the Lok Adalats. Lok Adalats was set up in India in 1985 for providing cheap and speedy justice to the poor. Why this Lok Adalat is established or set up in India? That is for providing cheap and speedy justice to the poor. Why? Because all the judgment, if any person is going in the court for the judgment, then there is a long procedure for the judgment, right? And that is very much expensive, right? So every person cannot afford that kind of judgment. So for the poor, in Lok Adalat, they can solve the cases at a cheap rate, and even that is the speedy justice. When in New Delhi, it met for the first time, it solved 150 cases in a single day. You can see the speed of this particular court. Lok Adalats are also presided over by a retired judge and two other members as normal courts. The working procedure of the Lok Adalat is very simple. The parties involved in disputes may plead their cases without advocates. Means here you don't need to appoint any lawyer for your case. You can put your particular matter in the Lok Adalat. These courts provide quick justice by resolving cases in a court on a spot. The cases are resolved through mutual understanding. No appeal can be made against the decision of the Lok Adalats. Means you cannot appeal any kind of arguments or any kind of opposition against the decision made by the Lok Adalats. Now you can see the slide of district level district courts at territories, 7 territories that in India. Now the next topic is types of judicial cases. There are 2 types of judicial cases. One is civil cases and second is criminal cases. Now first we are going to learn about the civil cases. What do you mean by civil cases, students? So civil cases means what? Any conflicts between people or institution, right? If any conflicts between 2 people or 2 institution is happen, then that cases are known as civil cases. May be of breaking of contract, divorce and lawsuits are some examples of civil cases. Lawsuit means what, students? Lawsuit means breaking of any law, right? Now, in such cases, the claimant brings his claim against the defendant. The court settles the disputes in accordance with the law. Civil cases can also be solved outside the court. Now, conflict between 2 people can be solved outside the court even by their mutual understanding, right? And if mutual understanding is not established there, then that cases are going in the court. Now, second is criminal cases. Criminal cases are committed against the society. For example, robbery, murder, physical injury and drunken driving are some examples of criminal cases. Means if some persons are not following the rules or laws properly, then that are the criminal cases. The court settles the dispute between 2 parties in accordance with the law. The court awards punishment to the guilty after trial. The punishment would range from petty fine to life imprisonment or even execution. Means what kind of punishment they were given to the particular person, means they can punish them like they have to pay some fine, or else they can be fined to life imprisonment. In these types of cases, the defendant is pronounced guilty or not guilty. Daily wages, Now we are going to learn about the public interest litigation. Every citizen of India has equal access to courts, but in reality, it's not true. Poor people often do not have enough money for pursuing a case, right? Courts are for every people, right? They have equal access to the courts, but that is not true. Why? Because it's a lengthy process and it's a expensive process, and all citizens cannot afford that lengthy and expensive process of solving a particular case in a court. So poor people often do not have enough money for pursuing a case. To a poor person who depends on daily wages, means they are working daily on the daily basis and they earn money on a daily basis, the idea of going to court to get justice often seems remote. Because of poverty, the poor people of India rarely enjoy the fundamental rights provided to them by the Constitution of India. And because of that only, if their fundamental rights are violated, they are not afforded to go to court for their rights, to fight for their rights. They are exploited both economically and socially. To sort out this problem, the Supreme Court of India has devised a mechanism known as public interest litigation to increase access to courts. In case of violence of their fundamental rights, citizens can directly appeal to the Supreme Court or High Courts of their respective states. Due to large size of the country, the power to decide on the fundamental rights is given to the Supreme Court and High Courts both. In this particular PIL means public interest litigation, if any person's fundamental rights get violated, we earlier learned that Supreme Court writ jurisdiction, right? In writ jurisdiction, what we learn that if someone's fundamental rights gets violated, they can appeal in the Supreme Court. But Supreme Court and High Courts of their respective states, people can put their appeal in the Supreme Court and even in the High Court. Due to large size of the country, the power to decide on fundamental rights is given to the Supreme Court and High Court both. If the fundamental rights are violated, these courts can immediately issue a writ. What I earlier explained you, jurisdiction for their enforcement. PIL may be filed in the Supreme Court or in the High Court by a group of people or an organization on behalf of those people whose fundamental rights are being violated. Now, poor people are not afford that much. They are not able to put their appeal in the particular courts, right? So some institutions or some organizations are there, they support that kind of poor people, right? They fight for their fundamental rights. Okay, so that particular institution helps those poor people to put an appeal in the Supreme Court or High Court. Now, the PIL is only admitted by either Supreme Court or High Court when convinced that the case is for the public cause, and it is only accepted by those when Supreme Court and High Court convinced that this is the public cause or this is the public matter. Fundamental rights are those basic rights. Now, what is fundamental rights? Are those basic rights which are essential for the well-being of the citizens of a country. Now, in the next slide, you are seeing the difference between civil cases and criminal cases.